A few months ago, I had the chance to play a new Souls-like Metroidvania type of game. Yes, I know that's a bit of a mouthful there, but this fusion of game types is very much what we have here. And based on what I played with it, I thought it was really well done. Oddly enough, for what seemed like a pretty extensive system at play here, with the blending of those two genres, along with the various upgrading and progression systems at play, I thought this title was easily going to garner more attention than it did. Sadly, that did not end up happening. It had a bit of a bump when it came out, but then that was it. Since I like highlighting indie games and especially underrated titles whenever I see them, I think I can both safely say that after spending some more time with Mandragora, that it continues to be a quality title, along with one that got a bit overlooked, and I think many of you would really like this one.
I was raised on the streets of Crimson City, and would have died on them had I not displayed the ability to wield the arcane arts. Word of my powers spread, and I was taken from my mother to be trained as an inquisitor. What happened to her, I still don't know. Sometimes I have a dream of being born. The rain splashing, my mother's labored breathing, and the sound of a mandrake screaming.
I do want to throw out here too, that at the time this came out, I was not really in the mood for another Souls game. I honestly have not been in the mood for something more traditional Souls-like a FromSoft game since Elden Ring. I beat that when it came out, and now I feel a bit burnt out on all of that. I like the style and aspects that Souls can bring to the table, like as a genre, and the challenge is enjoyable. But to a point, I have to be in the mood to tackle a game that can come from the genre where the difficulty is so punishing. Yes, every step can feel like a huge victory, but it can also be exhausting to dive into something like that, especially when all I want to do is just sit back and enjoy something. From what I'm seeing as the Soul space is then explored further, is that we're going to see more and more takes on it. We see certain things being shared, like the focus on exploration, builds, use of stamina, levels folding back in on themselves in interesting ways, and other elements. But how developers are then putting their own tweaks and stamps on the formula is showing how I'm still interested within this space, a lot even. I owe it a lot to indies, especially for keeping it interesting, at least for me. In something like Mandragora, when I first played it when it launched, I wasn't in the mood for anything like this, but then I played it and was surprised by what I found. I bring this up because if you're not in the mood for something, but then decide to give it a try and it ends up winning you over, I think it really speaks to the pull that title can have, that specialness as well. I found that here with Mandragora, and playing it more only solidifies that too.
Can't open from this side.
Like I mentioned at the start, when you play this game, it does feel like a blending and fusion of a Souls game along with a Castlevania Metroidvania-like title. One big thing that stands out is how there is this big focus on exploration. You have your own main objective or side task to do, but I always found it enjoyable to then sort of get lost in this title. The fog on the map lets you know that there is space that you have not gone to yet. Seeing that and wanting to then clear it, it can be kind of addicting. What could be over there? A new enemy, a boss fight, something of importance, or even better crafting items and equipment. You just don't know. Mandragora delivers on that exploration, and at the same time too, while you have that direction, a lot of this is then up to the player to then decide what direction you're going in. What are you going to be doing, and what are you choosing to explore? Even better yet, there's lots of nooks and crannies within environments, so repeating through an area can be really rewarding. It felt personal in this game, dangerous, rewarding, challenging but fair, not cheap and frustrating. That is a tough task to achieve, and here it was done very well. It feels expansive, textured, and mysterious too.
An inquisitor in Wickham. An interesting development. but none of this humble tailor's business. When you see Claiborne, do as he asks or you won't get what you came here for. He's fair, but does not take kindly to demands. There is one thing you can do for me. Wickham is no longer safe for me to operate out of. I was wondering if a kind word from an Inquisitor could help speed up the vendor permit process in Crimson City. That's unfortunate. I see. It may do, until I figure out another way out of my predicament.
The hacky-slashy gameplay is solid here. Hits feel and sound good, magic is deadly and very useful. Evades are like their own personal rewards at the time. Leveling is addicting, along with the crafting and even little micro-leveling that can happen too. So a cool element is that your crafting vendor will then level up as you use them more. This can provide you with more benefits and buffs of sorts when using their shop. As I tend to lack skill in both of these genres with Metroidvania and Souls, I tend to take advantage of grinding whenever possible. For one, I find it a rather relaxing experience. At the same time, it allows me to get a bit of a leg up, so that when I hit those tougher fights, those added stat bonuses allows me to hopefully get through them, and maybe gives me a bit more time to figure out a strategy to defeat my foe. Leveling nets you with stat increases, new skills, and then when you factor the several classes you have a lot there for the player to really express themselves in combat and how they want. I like how there are nodes in the upgrade tree, where you can choose which stats you want to upgrade, and then after choosing and earning 3 of them, you get a bonus stat boost. Crafting as well is pretty cool, since either searching or even farming for more pieces of stuff can result in some satisfying boosts in gear, and allows you to then toy around with different build options. For example, you can switch between 2 sets of equipment at once, so you can opt to go for something more involved with magic, while another can focus on defense and even switching mid-attack as well. The hook is strong with this title. It starts and then you want to keep going with it as it ramps up. It just doesn't want to stop from exploring, progressing levels, and all of that. It's a title I really enjoy and one that I want to explore more. What more can you ask for, honestly? Look, I want to throw this out here too, and I'm not saying that Mandragora is a game that will totally change up the genre or anything like that. It's not groundbreaking in that sense, and you know what? Not every game needs to be that. What we need are more really good to great games. Stuff that understands its inspirations and is able to deliver on just that. I found this title wildly fun, really good even. It's a title too that managed to get lost in the shuffle as well when it released in the spring, which is unfortunate that this happens to some really good games. But what I see here too is a developer that has not given up on their own game too. They've been working to address fan feedback and better their game, with hopefully an overall better experience for people. That shows me that they care and are willing to keep going with it. I don't say this as it was rough or anything at launch. In fact, I really enjoyed it at launch. But that commitment to even better your game, and hopefully to keep striving to gain that audience, you love to see it. As such, I wanted to highlight this game again here too, and I might even do it again. Mandragora is what you would expect from something like this, and then it might even surprise you in some ways. What you get is something very good, a fun time. I think that is something that many of us just want, an engaging experience. I recommend you give Mandragora a try, check it out. Have you played Mandragora? Are you interested in it? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.